Welcome to the fifth video lecture for Spanish for Beginners. What I'd like to go over first is the verb ir, to go. As you can see, ir is an irregular verb in that it has its own conjugations for each subject. So yo voy, tú vas, él va, nosotros vamos, ellos, ellas, ustedes van. Now, generally, the verb ir is followed by the preposition a, which is equivalent to in English. So to go to, ir a. Almost every case that you have the verb ir, it'll be followed by the preposition a. So it'd almost be helpful to memorize them both together. And just as a reminder, if you have the preposition a plus el, it turns to al. And if you have the de plus el, it turns to del. It doesn't work with any other article, so a plus la is ala. It's only a plus el, al, which occurs a lot in the construction ir a. So here's some example sentences. Voy al parque. I go to the park, or I'm going to the park. Since el parque, el is masculine, a plus el turns to al. Voy al parque. Vamos a la playa. We're going to the beach, or we go to the beach. Van a la fiesta. They're going to the party. They go to the party. Now, we learned earlier in class that you can express future actions with the present tense. So if you combine a present verb with a future time in the same sentence or expression, then it's conveying that you're going to do that action in a future time. So, camino en el parque mañana. I walk in the park tomorrow. You're not doing that now, you're doing that tomorrow. So it's expressing future actions. Or vuelo a Miami el jueves. I fly to Miami on Thursday, expressing a future action using the present tense. The important thing is to include that future time, because if not, it's just regular present tense. If you had camino en el parque, I walk in the park, or I'm walking in that park. Another way you can express future actions is with the verb ir plus an infinitive verb. Works the same as the English, I'm going to do something. I'm going to run, I'm going to eat. You're not eating or running right now, you're going to do that in a future time. Works the same way in Spanish. Voy a caminar en el parque mañana. I'm going to walk in the park tomorrow. Or voy a caminar en el parque. I'm going to walk in the park. I'm doing that in a future time. Or voy a volar a Miami. I'm going to fly to Miami. It's happening in a future time. So we have a couple questions. ¿Qué vas a hacer mañana? Or ¿qué haces mañana? Both asking what you're going to do tomorrow, but two different ways to express it using the two ways we know how to talk about the future. Remember that if you have a question with hacer, generally you replace that verb in the answer with the action that you're going to do. Or ¿qué vas a hacer después de clase? Or ¿qué haces después de clase? What are you going to do after class? Or what are you doing after class? The way you can answer it, you can use either form. So, ¿qué vas a hacer mañana? Let's say I'm going to run, voy a correr, or you could say, corro mañana. Both ways are understandable. Another thing I'd like to go over here real quick are stem changing verbs. So stem changing verbs maintain the same endings. So if you remember from a verb, the endings are AR, ER, and IR, whereas the stem is everything else before that. So stem changing verbs, they maintain the same endings as regular verbs. It's just the stem, the first part, that undergoes a change. In these cases, the first category we have is E to IE stem changing verbs. Now, in all these cases, it's always the second letter in the stem that undergoes a stem change. So in this case, E to IE, it's the second E in the stem that undergoes a stem change. So we have the verb entender, to understand. The stem is entend, because ER, that's the ending. If we look, we have the second E here. So that would be the E that undergoes the stem change. So yo entiendo, tú entiendes, él entiende. Nosotros is the only subject that doesn't have stem, that doesn't undergo a stem change. So entendemos, ustedes, ellos, ellas entienden. So here's a couple of common E to IE stem changing verbs. Cerrar, to close. Comenzar, to begin. Empezar, synonym, to begin. As you can see, it has comenzar a, to begin to do something. ¿No? Comenzar a comer, comenzar a correr, empezar a bailar, to begin to dance, to begin to eat, to begin to run, and so forth. Entender, pensar, to think. Yo pienso, tú piensas, él piensa, nosotros pensamos. Remember, no stem change in the nosotros form. Perder, to lose. Preferir, to prefer. And it can either be followed by a noun or an infinitive verb. I prefer ice cream, prefiero el helado, or they prefer to run, ellos prefieren correr. And finally, querer, meaning to want or to love. So in the want sense, quiero un helado, I want an ice cream, or quiero correr, I want to run. Or in the love sense, quiero mi madre, quiero a mi padre. Querer, yeah, you might know another verb to love, amar. Amar is generally reserved for love between spouses, boyfriends, girlfriends, and so forth, whereas querer is more in a general sense to love. Another group of stem changing verbs are O to UE. So all of these ones are some common O to UE stem changing verbs. Almorzar, so you can see here the O changes to a U, E in all the subjects except for nosotros. Yo almuerzo, tú almuerzas, él almuerza, nosotros almorzamos, ellos almuerzan. Contar, to count or to tell. Dormir, to sleep. Duermo, duermes, duerme, dormimos, duermen. Encontrar, to find. Mostrar, to show. Poder, to be able to, can. So puedo correr, pueden bailar, I can run, they can dance, or you can dance. Recordar, to remember, and volver, to return. One other one is jugar. It's its own category, the only one that's U to UE. So you can see the only U here changes to a UE, except for in the nosotros form. So yo juego, tú juegas, él juega, nosotros jugamos, ellos juegan. Another group of stem changing verbs are E to I. In this case, all it is the first E, or the second E, as I said, changes to an I in all the subjects except for nosotros. So pedir, to ask, yo pido, tú pides, él pide, nosotros pedimos, ellos, ustedes piden. Prefer, preferir, so yo prefiero, tú prefieres, él prefiere. Remember, it's the second E that undergoes the stem change. Nosotros preferimos. Decir, to say. Now, decir is unique. It undergoes the stem change, but it has an irregular yo form. So yo digo, and then for the rest of them, it's just a normal stem changing with the regular IR endings. Yo digo, tú dices, él dice, nosotros decimos, ellas dicen. Repetir, to repeat, and seguir, to follow. Yo sigo, tú sigues, él sigue, nosotros seguimos, ellos, ellas, ustedes siguen. So the biggest thing for class, I'd say, is to be familiar with these verbs, what they mean, and we'll practice based off of listening to what the stem changes are, when to stem change them. So for now, know what these verbs mean, just go over their definitions, and then we'll practice them in class.